What's going on, guys? T-Mart here, and welcome back to the episode of COD Ghost Killer Class Setup. The idea behind this series is to share some guns and classes that are a little bit less popular, but still extremely effective and fun to use. And honestly, this weapon and this setup I'm about to tell you guys about is one of my favorites in the game at this point. It's definitely one of my favorites for this series, but it's just, you know, it's really grown on me. I've been using it a lot lately. As you can see, we're using the FAD here, and I honestly think that it's the most underrated gun in the game. Like, I never really see anybody using this thing, but it's an absolute monster if you use it on the right maps and in the right situations. So let's get into this. Now, why is this weapon so good? Where does it stand out? Well, first and foremost, it's got the fastest fire rate of all the assault rifles, and that fire rate is even faster than most of the SMGs. It's quicker than half of them. So, you know, obviously that's a pretty big deal, and it kind of turns it into almost like an assault rifle SMG hybrid weapon that absolutely destroys at close to medium range. And then on top of that, it's an assault rifle, so it has like assault rifle range properties, so its damage doesn't drop off as quickly as an SMG's damage does. So, you know, that paired with the fact that it fires so quickly, it's literally like it competes with SMGs up close at super close range, but then it outperforms SMGs at the medium to longer distances and can compete with some of the assault rifles at those distances. So it's kind of like a jack of all trades gun in a sense. Now, that being said, it's not a godlike weapon. Like, it does have its faults. The biggest fault would probably have to be its damage, at least when you're comparing it to other ARs, because it is one of the weaker assault rifles in the game. You know, up close, it doesn't even compare to like the Remington or the AK-12 or something like that, and then also, its damage starts to drop off a little bit quicker than most of the other ARs. So, you know, when you're in those longer range gunfights, if the other guy has an AR and he's got decent aim, usually you're going to lose with the FAD. This thing is more of a jack of all trades. It really excels in those close to medium gunfights, like I said. So, yeah, this thing, it's absolutely beast when you use it in the right scenarios. You know, maps like Strike Zone, Freight, Sovereign, Trimmer, you know, this one right here, Warhawk, the ones where it's kind of a mix to where you can have those medium to longer range fights, but then you also have a lot of close range engagements. Those maps are where this thing excels, and nothing can really compete with it, because again, you know, it can beat out a lot of SMGs up really close, but then it can also absolutely destroy them at medium range and compete with some of the ARs at medium to long range. So it's kind of a jack of all trades weapon. It's pretty good. Now, as for the class setup that I like to use with this thing, the two main attachment recommendations that I have, a red dot sight and muzzle brake is usually what I roll with. I like to have a little bit more range on this thing to help out with its damage and things like that. Also, red dot sight and grip is pretty good if you aren't a fan of recoil, which nobody really is. I would not suggest running a suppressor on this thing, maybe if you're playing search and destroy, but it absolutely destroys the weapon and it makes it way too weak, so I don't recommend that. As for perks, you've got a lot of freedom. Use whatever you like to use on assault rifles. My two favorites on this weapon are focus, because, you know, obviously you want to get as many shots on target with this thing, especially with its high fire rate and its kind of lower damage and things like that, so you don't want to miss shots when you're getting shot at. And then also, steady aim is super effective on this weapon, because again, it's an assault rifle that excels at close range gunfights, so you want to be able to kind of like spray and pray and spray around corners and things like that when you're going up against like MTARs or Bisons or that kind of thing, to give you more of an advantage to win those close quarters combat gunfights. So anyway, yeah, there you guys have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys check out the FAD. Let me know which classes work best for you, because this thing is an absolute tank of a weapon when you use it in those close to medium range engagements. So thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Check out one of the other two videos if you haven't seen yet. Catch you all later, guys. Peace out.